Hey, Dave here from Pewcentric, the marketplace for firearms enthusiasts just like you discover unique gear, services, and training. Basically, everything but the guns. Inside the Pew is our ongoing series of interviews with the makers and experts on the Pewcentric platform, and today we're joined by Loren of Precision FCU to talk about his surprising start as a gunsmith and what he's learned working directly with top-level shooters. I like to start these interviews with basically, how did you get into this?
Back in 2020, in the summer of 2020, COVID lockdowns in full swing. The gun ranges here, I live in Florida, and I think it was all over the country, but gun ranges are an essential business, so they were open. And I started going to the range, and probably 2 or 3 times a week just for something to do. It wasn't really working, and I started probably shooting 500 to 1,000 rounds a day, 2 or 3 times a week. Lucky enough, I had ammo. One of the range officers was a USPSA shooter, and he introduced me to it in the summer of 2020. Started competitive shooting and happened to run into Max Michel, world champion, world record holder, you name it. He's won it out there in competitive pistol world. Ran into him, it's the national championship in Florida that year, and he gave me a call and invited me to join Team Max, which was a program that he offered to, there was 4 of us, where he was a mentor and coach 24/7, basically, for a 1-year period. As I was looking to become a better shooter and wanted coaching, and he doesn't really offer any private coaching. He has contracts with Howitzer Clothing and the military and different organizations out there, so he doesn't really have a lot of time. So I was really honored to get invited to train with Max and spent a lot of time training and working with him. In the meantime, I'm at home tearing apart my guns all the time and cleaning them, and kept me busy during COVID.
Okay, so I have the picture. You're taking apart your own guns and you're working on your own guns, and you're in this program with Max Michel and you're shooting alongside each other. But how does that turn into you being the gunsmith working on Max Michel's guns and refining his trigger systems?
Yeah, it was kind of a funny day when that happened. He knew I was taking apart my guns and cleaning them and was very particular about keeping my guns clean. He didn't really know it was out of boredom, but I was using at the time the fellow that was doing Max's guns. I had trigger work done by him, and obviously Max had his guns, and we were both having some problems with the reliability, and we just couldn't get the guns fixed in time. And Max, this is his career, professional shooter, and he one day just called me up and said, why aren't you doing our triggers? And I kind of was caught off guard, and I'm like, gosh, I don't know. I mean, he was like, you know how to work on them, you know how to tear apart the gun, you know how to put them back together. Why don't you do our triggers and figure it out? And I was like, can't believe this guy's #1 shooter in the world and wants me to do his triggers. But after a lot of work, working on them myself and practicing and taking the work that had been done to our guns with new parts and refining them, and working with the SIG engineers, getting some ideas, not on how to work on the guns or what to do to the guns from SIG, but to what's acceptable from a safety standpoint. Max and I went up to SIG, sat down with the engineers, went over the guns, how they work internally, and then I was able to draw my own conclusions on what I need to do internally so the guns still meet all their safety specs internally and still function properly 100% of the time.
So you literally just got the tap on the shoulder. It's like, you're my trigger guy now, okay? Did you have to go through a bunch of trial and error to get to the promised land and to get to the point now where you're not doing it just for Max, but you're doing it for other pro-level shooters, right?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I was only working on Max's triggers, and mine, of course, reaping the benefits of that privilege of working on Max's triggers. So I went through, I don't know the exact number, but 30 or 40 sears themselves, the sear group inside of the FCU, completely ruined them. Just trial and error. You know, have one just about right, one more file stroke, one more sand, a little sanding, a little polishing, and it was a complete failure. So it was a long process to get it to the point to where, A, they ran 100% of the time, 100%, hundreds of hours that we've spent on these, back and forth collaborating. He could explain something, and the words he chose, I knew exactly what he meant. So then, you know, be like, this one feels like this one feels like this, and my job was to get him as close to identical as possible, which is nearly impossible, but as close to it as possible, and to make them short, crisp, forceful reset the exact way he wants them. And he just kept pushing me, do it again, just like he does on the range when we train, do it again. Thankfully, my trigger works a lot better than my shooting.
Okay, you're doing that with Max, then what? How do you turn it from doing it for one of the best shooters in the world and kind of branching out for there, and what other shooters you're working with, and how did you turn this into a business?
So I started with Max. I was only doing Max's triggers. So officially in 2022, Max started using my triggers in competition. Shortly after that, there was an event where Team SIG was at, 3 of them, Daniel Horner, Lena Miculek, and Max. They're all shooting steel at the same time, and they're supposed to all end at the same time because they're shooting the same number of plates with different pistol, PCC, and 5.56 rifle for Daniel. And Lena pulled Max aside and tried his trigger out there, and she called me the next day and asked if I could do her trigger work as well with Max's approval, because I was only doing Max's triggers at the time, and so I said sure. So I started working on Lena's guns. We kept it quiet. I wasn't able to work on everyone's guns and work on the guns for the public as well. So that's why in 2022 I started there, and then in the spring or so of last year, 2025, started offering the trigger work to the public. And I think some of that was from the fellows DJ and Cole, GBRS group. I started doing their triggers about 2 years ago, 23 or 24, I think it was. And a lot of their clients, customers that they train at GBRS group got to feel their triggers and really showed to me there was a big interest out there for it. So decided to form my corporation, Precision FCU. And here we are in early spring, I guess it is now, 26. And happy to have the company up and going and offer this to the public.
And we're proud to be, one of the avenues to help connect you with Pewcentric customers, because clients on Pewcentric are not looking for cheap imported goods. They're not looking for turnkey services and cookie cutter training. They're looking for the best of the best. And as soon as we got connected through a mutual friend, I knew that it would be perfect for the platform.
Excellent, yeah. I'm excited.
So I want to thank Loren from Precision FCU for joining us today. And if you're serious about improving your speed and accuracy with your own SIG P320 or P365, you can connect with Loren at pewcentric.com/precisionfcu. And as always, like and subscribe to support the Pewcentric community and the makers and experts behind it.